Solis's Research and Development Committee head, and I don't know how to pronounce words. Yeah, but yeah. So I personally joined Solis because even as a kid, I could tell that there was a stigma around sexual harassment and gender inequality that leads to people avoiding talking about it. So, like, I always thought that it was this lack of discussion that leads to misconceptions like, oh, being a feminist means you hate all men, right? No, that's not what feminism is, but unfortunately, that's the reputation that it has. And I always believed that prevention is better than a cure. And like the earlier we're able to stop these mindsets from forming, the better. So like imagine when Ate Julia and Ate Iya like were establishing an org that aimed to do exactly that. It was like, of course I'd join. Like, yeah, it was just I wanted to join. And what made me stay was the people in Solis who like we shared a common goal, and it was like all these ideas that we were able to share with each other. But like most of all, it was because like Solace had personally become a safe space for me, and like meetings with the other core members were always fun. They were always like really nice, and like that just solidified my drive to like see this through even more. Because if Solace is already a safe space for me, then I want the chance to offer that safe space to the whole Pisay community. So, I became an advocate for women's rights and sexual harassment awareness because it's unfortunately really normalized, and that leads to a lot of people not knowing or not recognizing when something is sexist or when something is harassment. And frankly, it sucks that this thing that blatantly hurts people is dismissed to be not a big deal or even ignored entirely because of how normalized it is. So, for an organization like Solace to want to not only start discussions about it, but also engage the Pisay community in conversations could really help debunk those misconceptions. So, research is a scary word to say the least, but the Research and Development Committee is responsible for finding, compiling, and finalizing the information that appears in our PubMats, campaigns, discussions, etc. The information that we want to present to y'all, the community. And for me, personally, the goal of the Research and Development Committee isn't to just present the information or to just give it to y'all. Here you go. It's to start a legitimate, healthy, and civilized discussion on the issues to really get people engaged in it, to get people to start advocating for these topics as well. So, ayun.
Hello, ako si Raya. Ako yung referral head ng Solis. I joined Solis kasi I really believe in its vision, which is to build a safe space for women, for advocates, for survivors of sexual harassment, at yung Pasay community as a whole. I think sexual harassment and gender issues are so prevalent that there are things we can't not be aware of, not ignore, and things that need a community effort to take on. We are a community that has seen and experienced the bottled up issue, that has seen and experienced the surcharge issue, and I think we are a community that wants to act, that wants to take action, that wants to do better. Kasi we know that the survivors of these issues were not given the justice and the solace that they deserve. So for me, personally, I joined Solis kasi nga it was my opportunity to take action on this. And I think as a community, it's our collective opportunity to take action in this too. It's our chance to start conversations and spread awareness on sexual harassment and gender issues. It's our chance to fulfill accountability and hold people accountable. And above all, it's our chance to be a safe space for each other, for the community, to provide each other that sense of security and trust. That's all. I stay naman in Solis for 2 reasons. I think yung first is, you can really be passionate about the work you do here. You learn so much from your members, lalo na sa club ko, you get to talk to a lot of other advocates and learn a lot from them. So the work you do is passionate. Parang I also had my doubts nung in-approach ako about how I would be able to balance this with ACADS or if kaya ko to. But parang, because now that I'm doing the work, parang I know it's worth it. And ayun. Yung second reason is yung members. Kasi members ng Solis are really fun, really chill, and super supportive people na I think even with just even with a few members pa lang, just the core, I think it already is able to live up to what it wants to be as a safe space. So, sali kayo. I became an advocate for this issue kasi I think even as a child, these issues were so prevalent that I could see how it affected people, how it could affect the people in my life, around me, and even me. So it was something that even as a child, I always got into arguments for. And I think the more I grew up, the more the issue broadens for me, and it never stops. And the more I see it impact people in even more painful ways, the more I see it impact people on the scale of community. So I think I could see that it wasn't something that an argument would just fix. So translating these experiences into feelings and then translating these feelings into actions for advocacy, I think that's how it happened. My committee is the Referral Committee at kami yung Sexual Harassment Intervention Committee ng Solis. We refer survivors to seek psychosocial support or file a case, and we provide support throughout that whole process. Sexual harassment is a heavy and terrifying experience, and too often survivors have to be afraid that they have to go through it alone, have to be afraid of how people will respond to their report, have to be afraid of the uncertainty of how to report. So our committee wants to be able to facilitate a secure system to be able to provide support and guide you throughout this process. We want to be able to make you feel like we are there for you, that you can always approach us, and feel like we are a space where you can share your story, and feel like you can be hopeful that we will be able to respond, that you will be able to get the justice and the peace that you deserve. So in the long term, you want this to encourage survivors to report, and in this way, be able to hold more people accountable. And as we hold harassers accountable, we want to be able to disassemble this culture that propagates sexual harassment and be able to intervene.
Hi, I'm Bianca and I'm the head of Solace's Socmed committee. And I joined Solace because you rarely hear about women empowerment and sexual harassment intervention committees, especially within high school institutions. So I've always thought that was such a loss because a lot of the culture surrounding the way we approach sexual harassment and women's issues kind of starts in school, especially in high school. So when Ate Ian, Ate Julia approached me and said that, oh, we're gonna start this committee with these objectives, and what's to make it better is that, oh, it's gonna be a student-led committee. And because of that, I was just really excited already. That was enough for me to just join and actually become a core member. So what made me stay though is the fact that core essentially was just really welcoming. We were always open to discussing a lot of things, and even during the process of launching, there was a lot of discussions on how we want to approach things as well. And I learned a lot more actually on women's issues and sexual harassment, because I've always thought that a lot of people do have a general idea on what these words actually refer to, right? Or what sexual harassment looks like, or what women's issues are. But going into core, I've just learned a lot more perspective on these things. I've seen a lot more nuances to the context in which these things occur. So I think that was really important, and I think I've found solace. I found solace in the fact that I could discuss these things with these people, and I do hope that after learning more about us, I do hope that you find comfort or solace in Solace. Wow. So I became an advocate for feminism and sexual harassment awareness because I've been through some experiences, and I've seen how a lot of people usually approach you once you come forward with a certain experience. It's usually something oh, normal lang yan, or oh, you just have to get used to it, right? I don't understand why you're so emotional about it. And it's just really frustrating kasi why am I the one who has to control myself when there are these people who don't follow basic human decency, right? And I guess Solace provided an avenue for me to vent out my frustrations in that, and to also seek comfort in the fact that there are people as well who are frustrated with the system in which we approach the culture surrounding women's issues and sexual harassment, and yet want to do something about it, right? And I'm just so happy to be part of this committee that wants to change, that not only wants to change things, but actually has the avenue to make concrete plans of action in which to address these issues. So, okay, let's talk about the Socmed committee. Oh, cool. Wait lang, I'll stick doon. Teka lang. Let's talk about Socmed. So, as I've mentioned before, I'm the head of Solace's Socmed committee, and essentially Socmed committee is in charge of the strategy in which we post things, or how we present ourselves in social media, such as our Twitter and Facebook page. Yes. So I know most people, when you hear about Socmed committee, it's kind of oh, so na yung cloud chasers, which I mean is true, but there's an added nuance, especially in Solace, because we don't want to just engage with people through like posts or like likes and retweets, but we also want to facilitate discussions in social media as well, or to start discussions at least within the community. So it's a lot of things rolled into one, which I think was really exciting for me, which is why when the time came for us to choose our committees, I chose Socmed as my first choice. So as Socmed committee as a whole, what we do want to achieve, as I've said, is to not only like gain like 100 followers on our Socmed platforms, but it's more on starting discussions in the community, and that's it basically. Like for me, I don't really care if like we only have like less than 100 followers. If we could see that our posts are making a difference within the community, that our posts have encouraged people to learn more about these things, or to at least talk about these things, or at least welcome the people who do want to talk about these things. So that's what we want to do in Socmed. And yeah, it's not just about clout talaga. So ayun, I mean, it's partly clout, but it's not everything naman for me specifically. So ayun.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm the creative head of Solace. So the reason why I joined Solace is because I wanted to spread gender equality and spread the value of feminism to the entire Pasay community. I wanted to help and join like-minded people in spreading our advocacies, which refers to gender empowerment and gender equality, and basically making the world a better place where you don't have to be defined by your gender, and instead be defined by your actual skills and talent, and not be discriminated or be put in a box. So I also wanted to be able to use my skills in creativity, such as arts and design, in order to communicate the lessons and the information that other committees want to show. I want to be able to use these skills that I honed over the years, and able to properly express this information, and properly be able to have people visualize it, and to communicate it in a way that would be easy to understand for anyone else who is new to the subject and wants to learn more. So another reason why I joined Solid is because I wanted to spread. I want to help us gain advocates for our cause, and I want to help students and teachers and basically other members of the Pasay community learn about what we do and why we want to achieve this. Why do we want to achieve gender equality, and what does it benefit? How does it benefit everyone and not just women? We need to help everyone understand that women should not be defined solely by their gender, but also through their talents, through their personalities, and everything else. So that's the reason why I joined SOLS, and yun. So my advocacies, other than overall gender equality, is also about feminism and spreading awareness on sexual harassment. I want to be able to help people learn about why these are harmful to people, especially women, and what they can do to help it. So the reason why I became an advocate in order for educating people on these topics and helping them learn more and learn to become an advocate is because I noticed, like, since I was a young child, that these issues are really prevalent. These issues are something that are really foundational, and while we have progress, that is true, there is still a lot to work on. And I'm proud of the progress that we have so far, and I want to be a part of it in order to help society in general, in order to learn about these topics and dissolve stigma and dissolve myths and misconceptions about these topics and issues, and be able to properly educate themselves and others. And of course, I want to start with the Pasay community so that we could start small, and also we would be able to properly expressed to everyone, and we know that we could like gather a lot of people to make a heavy impact. I want to be able to help change the world for better, even through like small ways, even if it's through like creating pub mats and creating other sorts of media that will be able to properly express these issues, and also helping my fellow co-committee heads. I want to properly be able to express these issues, and I want to be able to help them and also others outside of Solace in order to educate others and also to spread awareness and learn how to become a better ally for those who need help and support in these sorts of issues. So you may be wondering, what exactly is it that the Creatives Committee in SOS does? So the Creatives Committee we design pub mats, videos, and other kinds of media that helps the other committees, especially research and development and the Socmed committee, in order to properly express our thoughts and ideas and be able to articulate and help people visualize them in a way that would be easy to understand. It is also in a way that is visually appealing to the eye. And I believe that the role of this committee is really important because, of course, it is really important in design communication that people will be able to properly express your people will properly express and understand your advocacies through how you present yourself. So that's why we have a brand book. If you can see to our past posts, there's like a pretty concise and a pretty followed fonts, colors, and such. And we want to give such an identity that would be able to help people be able to recognize us and say, that's the committee that is a safe place for me. That's a committee that I know that's all there and through like not only the words that we express, not only through the messages that we show, but also through like the design and the overall pub mats and other media that we show. We will be able to create not only an identity for ourselves, but also have people recognize us and hopefully also recognize us as their safe space. And yeah, that's basically it. And also we also hope to properly express these ways in a way that is like, of course, sensitive and properly that properly fits the message and the tone that we are trying to express. Of course, we do not want to come off as too bubbly when it comes to handling sensitive topics. We do not want to come off as too vibrant when we're handling serious and even sometimes dramatic messages. So we want to avoid that, and that's why it's really important in creatives na not only the words expressed will have the right tone, but also the way it's expressed is really important, and that's why I want to focus on. So yeah, basically all in all, creatives is basically about helping properly express the messages and the advocacies that we want to show, not only through words but also through design and through art in a way that is overall easy to visualize. So that's all, and thank you.